It's all blue here on day 2, and if you thought I just thought that off the top of my head, I haven't. And if you watch the UK one, you know I did it over there as well. So the rhyme is sticking for day 2. That one didn't rhyme though, did it? European Q School did this slightly different yesterday to the UK, and I'm going to do it the same again. That's because the higher entries. The higher entries, we've got 506 in the EU, 358 in the UK. Now, what that leads us to is a lower standard, less recognisable names than we have over in the UK, and a lot of averages that you'll see in the 60s and 50s. We had a winner yesterday in the 33s. Not as low today, but we are seeing people go through with 50s and 60s on quite a regular basis. That will disappoint this group of people who went out in the last 512. Roby John Rodriguez, who lost his tour card at the end of, not last year now, the year before. Anton Usland, one of the exciting young players coming through from Sweden. And Krzysztof Kachuk, who played in the World Championship this year. All going out in that round, and they all went out quite early yesterday, some of these bigger names as well, which means they could be in the spot of bother moving into the final stage tomorrow, and their chance of getting through to stage 2. Stage 2 is where the tour cards are given out, as we know. They're not going to be able to rely on the order of merit. They're going to need a big run tomorrow. However, these players have got the quality that you'd imagine they can get through to the last 16 of this with very little issues. But at the end of this round, we would have seen everybody take part in at least one game. Jose Justicia had a great day yesterday, didn't he? The lad from Spain, been on the tour before. You'd expect that he would get his tour card back. You'd also expect Jarno Bottenberg would get one. However, the draw sometimes works against you. Marcel Wolpen, a great player from Switzerland, a place that is having some real developing players. I was covering the European Tour on commentary for the PDC, and the likes of Bruno Sturkley coming through as well. He played well when he went, and I think this is where the European Tour's coming into play. And it's giving players that experience, it's giving players the opportunity to go up there on the stage, and they really are developing their game, and I think we're going to see this a lot more moving forward. Ron Meulenkamp, someone we picked out yesterday as not producing the darts that we'd expect from him. Still not getting to that level, but he got the win, so there's time for him yet to go and put that right. No real big name casualties at this stage. However, there's not really that many in there at the moment who have got previous tour experience. The thing with the European Q School is the players that have a lot of previous tour experience tend to be the ones that are in the secondary phase. Keep your eye out for Jeffrey Sparadans. He picked a tour card up a couple of years ago, wasn't able to get it back last year. An average there about 92. That's where his game kind of is, and he sort of lives around that area on a regular basis, so expect to see him. David Cameron was one of the shock surprises yesterday early on, choosing to go to the European Q School rather than the UK. Didn't pay off for him yesterday, but he's through to the third round today. Liam Mandel Lawrence averaged 105 in his opening game, and then averaged 71 and lost in his second one. Looks somewhere between the two today. We'll see how that one develops. Jeffrey Deswan, excellent performance yesterday. He played well when he played on the Super Series as well, so could be his year to get back on the tour. Brian Roman also looking to get back on the tour as well. Been putting a lot of work into getting ready for going to Q School. Had a good day yesterday, will be into stage 2. Ricardo Ulrich, great performance, 103, statement there in the opening phase. Another Spaniard going through here, Jesus Nogueira, had a great year on the Challenge Tour about 5 years ago now, but when he went to the tour, it sort of ate him alive a little bit, lost his confidence, looking to get back on the tour and have another go. Just like Cristo Reyes is, he got through to the World Championship, playing exceptional darts in the qualifier, averaging around 97, had a great game with Jan van Veen in the opening round of the World Championships. Was one of the players that really do catch the eye, as does Boris Krichmar, who's got through to the third round stage. Was one of those players that very, very high on the list of expected to get through, didn't produce it yesterday. Doesn't mean he's not going to get through. It's the beauty of Q School. You've got 3 days to get it right. And at this stage, when there's a lot of nice draws in there, you'd expect that you're going to get the job done, especially when you've got the quality of Boris Krichmar. Just like yesterday, guys, as I've mentioned, we're having a big clear out here in the Edgar TV studios, getting ready for the new year. So I have got a lot of clearance stock down in the link in the comments, guys. Go have a look, or the description, not the comments. Go check it out. Not really much to report here in the round of 128. Everyone would expect to pretty much going through, except Jose Justicia. He lost in an all-Spanish battle 5-2. Good performance here. Justicia is going to have to wait a little bit longer if he's to get a hold of his card, or get a chance to getting through to the last 128. Bruno Sturkley. what was they saying about players from Switzerland? And this is one of the interesting things. We see the PDC as well with their development of worldwide tours, an investment of £3 million. Dave Allen moving away from media manager now to take over that role, where he's going to be working with affiliate tours on development. We've seen a lot of money in Asia, in Africa, and we've seen in Switzerland the development of a tour, the SDC. And I think a lot of the places now and these nations that are putting together these tours, we see the Nordic and Baltic system with the PDC, with Switzerland really emerging as a challenging nation. Some great talent there, as franked by Andreas Harrison recently at the World Championships. I'm not going to count Jeffrey de Graaf fully with that because he's not exactly a homegrown talent, but certainly represents Sweden now. So I'm not surprised when you look at the infrastructure of these countries. I've travelled around a lot, and I see that the sort of Scandinavian countries are looking very interesting, and Sweden is becoming a very interesting competitor, Sturkey through to the last 64. So just a couple of wins to go, and the player who beat Jose Justicia in the last round goes out 5-4 to Pal from Hungary. And this is another reason why I don't get too in depth with at this stage, because those of you who have followed before, and you probably come here to hear my terrible pronunciation of names, and yeah, I'm kind of letting you down, especially with the likes of Bruno Sturkley, because I know how to say that one, because I commentated on his game. 5-1 victory for him. He's a game away from booking himself a place into the last 1-8 of Q School secondary phase. That's the Ron Muhlenkamp we've been waiting for. 98 average for him against Simon Back. Good performance. He's a game away from being in stage 2. Has a bit of name value as well, which does go a long, long way when we're taking a look at European Q School. Jeffrey Sparrodon said at the start of the day, keep an eye on him. He's doing exceptional. 97 average for him, 5-2 victory. I expect to see him through. Jeffrey de Swan is through in points. We'll have a look at the points table at the end of the video as well. Liam Mandel Lawrence keeping the performance going for longer. David Cameron showing what we expected from him rather than the first round early defeat we had from him yesterday. Pretty much everybody you'd expect to get through is getting through, and it's good for these guys, the likes of Boris Kritschmar, the likes of Christo Reyes, that they're all avoiding each other until that final stage when they've all got a lot of points. And this is one of the things that's interesting with Q School, how much of this actually comes down to the draw. The draw does become a major factor when we're looking at an event like Q School, because, you know, Boris Kritschmar could have played Christo Reyes in the first round. Now they're both a round away from getting themselves through to the last 1-8, where the tour cards will be given out at the end of the week. So all the players down the left-hand side, these are guaranteed to be through to phase number 2. Now, unlike the UK, I'm not going to say everyone down the right-hand side is pretty much in, because what we've seen in the European is a lot of players that didn't do well on the opening day have had good runs on day 2, the likes of Liam Mandel Lawrence, the likes of Ron Muhlenkamp, for example, where there's been a lot more of a split. So, first of all, the players that have got through, we've got some really interesting faces here. Christo Reyes got through to the World Championship. A lot of people are watching him thinking, how far can he go? Can he get his tour card back? There's not really been a weak game. Even here in 85, that is solid. 83 to 93 is going to get you through Q School. Boris Kritschmar, I'm certain he'll get a card. He's far too strong for the European Q School. David Cameron really showing the quality, and maybe a good selection to go over to the European Q School. We'll find out as the next 4 days go for him. He's got a day off though tomorrow, as does Jeffrey de Swan, who's had an exceptional day, ending with an average of 101, which is a statement performance going into his day off before he comes back on Thursday to try and pick up a tour card. Here is the table, how things stand, and what you'll notice here is the amount of people on similar points. Now, the players on 5, I think, are in. They're safe. Brian Roman, the biggest notable name of those. Players on 4, I think, are pretty much safe. But just look at this. Look how many players are already tied on 3 points, separated by legs. So players on 3 are not safe by a long stretch. 4 is pretty much there. I'd say that's safe. But a lot of these players on 3 are going to be disappointed of missing out, because, again, look how many players are stacked up on 2s. There's a lot of players that have had very, very counterproductive days. One day they had a great day, the other one they had a tricky one. Who's going to put it all together tomorrow, though? That's when it really counts. 16 more players will get guaranteed, then the rest are going to be on the order of merit. I'm going to be live for a good part of the afternoon, and obviously you'll get your video here as well of a roundup of everything, just in case you can't follow it along. You're out at work and you want it all wrapped up in around about 8 to 10 minutes. I'm your guy. You hit the subscribe, I'll do the rest. I'll catch you soon.